Imagine for a moment that you're sitting in a doctor's office. You're feeling perfectly fine, no symptoms, no complaints. Your doctor runs a simple blood test, maybe a quick scan, and then they tell you something that could change your entire life. We've detected a disease developing inside you. It's still early. We can treat it now before you ever feel sick. This scenario, once pure science fiction, is becoming reality right now thanks to artificial intelligence. Today, I want to take you on a journey through one of the most transformative breakthroughs in modern medicine, how AI is learning to see diseases before our bodies even know they're coming. We're talking about early detection, precision imaging, and the power to catch cancer, heart disease, and countless other conditions. At the moment, they're most treatable. But first, let me ask you, what would it mean for your health if doctors could predict your future? What if we could prevent disease instead of just treating them? We live in an age where artificial intelligence is becoming a doctor's closest partner. And unlike human doctors who might see hundreds of patients in their career, AI systems have been trained on millions of patient records, thousands of disease patterns, and decades of medical outcomes. Here's what makes this revolutionary. AI doesn't just look at what's wrong now. It looks at what could go wrong next. It's like having a medical expert who can predict the future, not with a crystal ball, but with pure data and pattern recognition. The breakthroughs we're about to explore fall into four major categories. First, we have lifetime disease prediction systems that can forecast 1,000 different diseases across your entire lifespan. Second, precision imaging that catches cancer before it spreads, using computer vision that never blinks, never gets tired, never misses a detail. Third, early detection of neurological diseases like Parkinson's, catching them before symptoms even appear. And fourth, real-time monitoring during critical procedures, like when doctors are looking for hidden cancer cells hiding in your colon. Each of these represents not just an improvement, they represent a fundamental shift in how we practice medicine, from reactive to proactive, from treating disease to preventing it. Let's start with something truly remarkable, a system called Delphi 2M. Picture this. It's September 2025. Researchers at leading universities unveil an AI model trained on over 500,000 patient records, combining data from the UK Biobank and Danish health registries. These aren't just recent records, these are decades of longitudinal data following the same people year after year, decade after decade, watching how diseases develop, cluster together, and affect lives. Delphi 2M learned something extraordinary from all this data, the language of disease trajectories. It can predict not just whether you'll get sick, but which diseases will likely appear in your life, when they might arrive, and how they might interact with each other. Think about that for a moment. This AI can forecast 1,000 different conditions across your entire lifespan. What does this mean in real life? Imagine a 45-year-old woman comes in for a routine checkup. The doctor runs her basic metrics through Delphi 2M. The system analyzes her genetics, her current biomarkers, her family history, her lifestyle data, and it tells her doctor, based on her current trajectory, she has a 73% probability of developing type 2 diabetes within the next decade and a 45% probability of cardiovascular disease shortly after. This isn't doom and gloom, it's empowerment, because now, instead of waiting for disease to strike, her doctor can design a personalized prevention plan, more aggressive lifestyle interventions, different monitoring schedules, preventive medications at the right time. The clinical applications are staggering. Hospitals can identify patients who need aggressive prevention before they develop disease. Researchers can understand how diseases cluster and reinforce each other. Drug developers can test new medicines on synthetic patient populations generated by AI. Insurance companies and health systems can allocate resources to the highest risk populations. And here's what's truly beautiful. Delphi 2M works by learning from the natural history of disease. It's learning from millions of real human lives, real outcomes, real stories. The impact? Preventive medicine transforms from a suggestion to a precise, data-driven science. Now let me take you to Melbourne, Australia, a country with one of the highest rates of skin cancer in the world. The sun is intense, the beaches are beautiful, and melanoma is a constant deadly threat. A dermatologist in Melbourne might see 30 to 40 patients a day. Each one needs their moles examined, photographed, assessed. It's repetitive, it's time-consuming, and here's the problem. Human eyes get tired. Attention drifts. Even the best doctor, after their 35th patient, might miss some. So Australian researchers asked a simple question. What if we could train an AI to look at skin lesions with the same intensity on patient number 1 as on patient number 40? They trained an AI on thousands of dermatology images, high-resolution photos of melanomas, basal cell carcinomas, benign moles, suspicious spots. The AI learned the subtle patterns that distinguish cancer from harmless lesions, patterns so fine that human eyes might miss them. The result? A system that analyzes a lesion in minutes instead of hours of waiting, distinguishes malignant from benign with remarkable accuracy, never gets tired, never has a bad day, never misses a detail. Gives doctors confidence to catch skin cancer at stage 1 when survival rates are above 95%. Here's what happens in practice. A patient with a suspicious mole walks in. The dermatologist takes a high-resolution photo with a specialized camera. That image goes into the AI system. Within seconds, the system highlights the areas of concern, calculates the risk score, and flags whether this lesion needs immediate biopsy or can be monitored. Does the AI replace the dermatologist? Absolutely not. But it amplifies the dermatologist's abilities. It catches what tired eyes might miss. It gives doctors a second opinion that's faster, more consistent, and always available. The human impact. Thousands of Australians who might have died from late-stage melanoma are now alive because their skin cancer was caught at stage 1. And the beautiful part? This technology is spreading. It's coming to your country, your city, your local clinic. Parkinson's disease is devastating because by the time you notice the symptoms, the tremor, the rigidity, the slowness, significant neurological damage has already occurred. Brain cells have already died. The disease is already entrenched. But what if we could catch Parkinson's years before the first tremor, before any visible symptoms? In July 2025, researchers published a stunning finding, an AI system that can identify Parkinson's disease with over 90% accuracy in people who have no symptoms yet. How? By analyzing subtle patterns that the human brain can't consciously perceive. Parkinson's doesn't just announce itself with tremors. It whispers. It shows up in tiny changes in how you walk. Gait analysis, subtle loss of smell, olfactory changes, sleep disturbances that predate the motor symptoms, voice quality changes, balance and coordination shifts so small you might not notice. The AI was trained on thousands of people with Parkinson's, tracking these subtle early signals years before diagnosis, and it learned to recognize the pattern, the constellation of small changes that together spell Parkinson's. What does early detection mean? Currently, once Parkinson's is diagnosed, doctors try to manage symptoms. But neurologists know that early neuroprotective treatment, interventions that protect remaining brain cells, might be far more effective before significant damage occurs. Imagine a 55-year-old man takes an AI screening test. He feels fine, no tremor, no stiffness, but the AI detects subtle gait changes and olfactory shifts that suggest early Parkinson's. His neurologist starts him on protective medications, recommends specific exercises, monitors him closely. 5 years later, he might never develop the motor symptoms that would have disabled him. Or if he does, they're dramatically milder because his remaining dopamine neurons were protected early. The research is clear. Early intervention in neurodegenerative disease is far more effective than late intervention. The impact on patients, the difference between a life lived fully and a life diminished by progressive disease. Let's talk about something unglamorous but life-saving: colonoscopy. Here's a medical reality. Colorectal cancer is highly preventable. A colonoscopy can find and remove precancerous polyps before they ever become cancer. The problem? Doctors miss polyps. Studies show that even excellent gastroenterologists miss 15–25% of polyps during colonoscopy. Maybe they were looking at a different angle. Maybe the lighting wasn't perfect. Maybe they blinked. Whatever the reason, the polyp gets missed, keeps growing, and 5 years later becomes cancer. In 2021, Medtronic, one of the world's largest medical device companies, received FDA approval for something unprecedented: GI Genius TM, the first FDA-cleared AI system specifically designed to help doctors find polyps during colonoscopy. How does it work? The colonoscope has a camera that streams video throughout the procedure. That video feed goes into an AI system running on a workstation beside the doctor. The AI analyzes the video in real time, looking at every pixel, every frame, recognizing polyps with superhuman consistency. When the AI spots a potential polyp, it alerts the doctor. A highlight appears on the screen. The doctor, now alerted and armed with this second opinion, takes a closer look, biopsies it if needed, or removes it. What's the result? Studies show that doctors using GI Genius find significantly more polyps than they would have found alone. Polyp detection rates jump by 10–20%. That means thousands more people have their precancerous lesions removed before cancer develops. The math is simple. 1 million colonoscopies per year, 15% miss rate, 150,000 missed polyps. 5 years later, maybe 5,000 of those become cancers. With GI Genius, that number drops dramatically. The human cost? Thousands of lives saved, thousands of families spared the devastation of colorectal cancer. And here's the beautiful part. This technology is now in thousands of hospitals worldwide. If you get a colonoscopy today, you might benefit from this AI without even knowing it. Another innovation from Medtronic, AcuRhythm, an AI system embedded in their Link 2 insertable cardiac monitor. Some patients need continuous heart monitoring. They wear a device inserted under the skin that records their heart rhythm 24/7. Traditionally, all this data streams to a central station and cardiologists review it manually, but there's a problem: false alerts. The device detects what might be an abnormal rhythm and it alerts the patient. The patient panics, they rush to the hospital, and often it turns out to be a false alarm, a sensor artifact, or a rhythm variation that's clinically insignificant. With AcuRhythm, the AI acts as a first filter. It analyzes the rhythm data with sophisticated algorithms, distinguishing true arrhythmias from false positives. It still alerts the cardiologist, but with higher confidence. The result? Fewer false alarms, less patient anxiety, and better resource allocation in cardiology clinics. Cardiologists focus their expertise on truly significant events. It's not flashy. It doesn't cure disease, but it's the kind of quiet, consistent improvement that healthcare desperately needs. Let me tell you about a remarkable company called MediWale, founded in South Korea in 2020. Their founding insight was profound. Your eyes are a window into your entire body. The retina, the back of your eye, is the only place where doctors can directly observe blood vessels without surgery. And those blood vessels tell a story. They reveal heart disease. They reveal kidney disease. They reveal diabetic complications. They reveal aging patterns at the cellular level. For decades, eye doctors have known, but analyzing retinal images requires expertise, time, and careful examination. So MediWale asked, what if AI could learn to read the retina like a master ophthalmologist? They trained their system on millions of retinal images, linking them to patient outcomes, heart disease outcomes, kidney disease outcomes, eye disease outcomes. The AI learned the visual patterns associated with systemic disease. The breakthrough came in July 2025 when MediWale announced deployment in Dubai, Italy, and Malaysia. Imagine this scenario. A 62-year-old man comes to a clinic in Dubai. He has high blood pressure, but he feels fine. No symptoms. He's skeptical about spending money on extra tests. A nurse takes a retinal photo using MediWale's specialized camera, a 2-minute non-invasive procedure that's completely painless. The AI analyzes his retinal blood vessels. It detects subtle changes, suggesting early kidney disease, something that wouldn't show up on routine blood work for another 2 years. It also detects vascular changes, suggesting elevated cardiovascular risk. Suddenly, his doctor has critical information. Instead of waiting for kidney function to decline, they can start protective medications now. They can intensify blood pressure management now. They can prevent 2 years of progressive kidney damage. The global implications are staggering. In developing countries, advanced cardiovascular imaging, CT angiography, echocardiography, costs thousands of dollars, but retinal imaging costs $50, maybe less. For the first time, we can screen millions of people in resource-limited settings for serious diseases using a technology that's affordable, fast, and non-invasive. MediWale isn't just a medical innovation. It's a democratization of diagnostic capability. It's bringing specialist-level disease detection to clinics in Dubai, rural Italy, and Malaysia, places that have never had access to that level of diagnostic sophistication. Current status? Actively deployed. Hundreds of patients already screened. The company is scaling rapidly. The vision? A world where every person, regardless of geography or income, has access to comprehensive disease screening. What we've explored in Part 1 represents a fundamental shift in medicine. For thousands of years, doctors were detectives. They looked for clues. They made diagnoses based on what they could see and measure right now. Disease was something that happened to you, and then you dealt with it. But AI is changing that equation. AI is learning to see diseases before they harm you. It's learning to predict which patients will suffer complications. It's learning to catch cancers, detect neurodegenerative diseases, and identify organ damage, all before you'd ever notice a symptom. Delphi 2M can forecast your medical future. The Melbourne skin cancer AI can spot melanomas your dermatologist might miss. The Parkinson's detector can find disease years before the first tremor. GI Genius catches polyps that would become cancer. AcuRhythm filters noise from signal in cardiac care. And MediWale is bringing retinal disease detection to the world. These aren't hypothetical technologies. They're being deployed right now in hospitals around the world. They're saving lives today. But here's what I want you to understand. These are just the beginning. We're in the early chapters of AI-enabled medicine. The systems we're building now are learning, improving, and expanding to detect and prevent diseases we haven't even fully understood yet. The message is simple: hope, because in the not-so-distant future, the word prevention will replace the word treatment in medicine. Doctors won't ask, how do we cure your disease? They'll ask, how do we prevent your disease from ever developing? And that shift from reactive to proactive, from disease to prevention, from crisis to health, that shift will transform the human experience. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the diagnostic breakthroughs that are reshaping medicine. In our next segment, we'll explore how AI is revolutionizing drug discovery, accelerating treatments that would have taken decades into months. But for now, take this with you. Your medical future is being written right now in labs and hospitals around the world by AI systems learning to care.